Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everyone is having a good day whenever you're watching this. Thank you for tuning in on the solo podcast three actually now. Yeah, we're on the third podcast. So thank you very much for tuning in again. We've got a lot of questions actually. So I'm gonna get through these the best I can. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 questions. So it's quite a lot. So I'm gonna crack on, get into them, and answer them to the best of my ability. So first question. I'm not going to give you an update of where I am because an update where I am is the same as last week, which was like Thursday when I released it. So just start my mini cut, which I'll go into obviously in a little bit. I've got a question regarding that, so I can answer it then. So let's start off with so many. Let's start off with Ralph. My client Ralph asks, starts on refeeds slash cheat meals. So good question. First off, firstly, let me just go over sort of things like cheat meals. I never prescribe cheat meals to clients ever. I never have, and I never will actually. I never had a cheat meal myself when I'm prepping. I assume you mean when you're in a dieting phase, because when you're in an off-season period, refeeds or cheat meals, it just what doesn't make any sense because your calories are already high. So, and you shouldn't be fatigued in regards to like diet fatigue. So, in an off-season phase, NA they shouldn't be applicable. I don't see why they would be. Um, so cheat meals, I don't like them. Number one, the answer's in the word cheat meal. So for this like special cheat meal, you unlock foods, right? For like out of this kind of window, and then you only eat them when you're allowed a cheat meal. So all the other days, you can't have these foods because they're locked up in a cupboard, and the cupboard has cheat meal on it. So first off, I don't really think that it has a good psychological impact on you. I really don't. You think you can only have these foods when you're allowed this special meal. I just don't think that's pretty. I don't think that's good from a psychological perspective. I really don't. The also negative I find on cheat meals is number one, you get completely obsessed with that meal at the end of the week or whenever you have it, and pretty much you just count down to when you can have that meal, which it's probably not the healthiest places to be again mentally. So I don't like them for that reason. Another reason I don't like them is you're never gonna weigh them. You're never gonna weigh the cheat meal. You're not gonna go out to a restaurant or wherever you go and have this all you can eat like pizza and cheesecake and all this kind of shit. You're never gonna know what you're eating, and it's probably gonna be pretty low on the carbohydrates, and the fat intake is just gonna be through the roof. Now, the whole point of a refeed or a structured higher day in a deficit is to replenish glycogen, which you need more than one day to do. So it wouldn't really make sense having a cheat meal anyway. But to replenish glycogen, to give yourself a psychological break for sure. But these can be done on a structured refeed day. You can monitor the refeed. The refeed is accurately tracked. You can adjust it according to how you respond in the following days. You're not going to be able to do that when you have a cheat meal because you don't know what you've had. You don't know what you've had anyway. So I don't see the merit in a cheat meal. But when it comes to refeeds, I think they are a superb tool for sure. Now, they're not going to really have much of an impact if you have one day, one higher day. It may make you feel good for that day. It may give you a little bit more energy in your training session for that day. And it may just give you a psychological boost for sure. It may also reduce stress, thus reducing cortisol, thus reducing scale weight, which can obviously which can be up and down when you're stressed and you're holding water from just being diet fatigued. So it definitely has a place. I like the refeed approach. I think refeeds should be put personally on either to honestly probably a rest day and probably do a double day refeed. So this is for people who are decently lean. If you're decently lean, I think a double day refeed can be really advantageous. Maybe one, say you're resting on like a Saturday, Sunday, maybe have one on a Friday and Saturday. So have one on your session when you're training and then have one again on your rest day. you're gonna probably gonna utilize the carbohydrate slightly better rather than having it on your training day. But I understand if you want to have it on a leg day. Trust me, been there, done it. Like, you feel like you need to earn the calories, especially when you're dieting. Now, I get it. I really understand that. But guys, like, it's not going to make that much of a difference, firstly. Secondly, I think that they are a good tool, though, for sure. Cheat meals, I hate them. I don't ever have them in for clients. I'll never, ever program cheat meals in. I don't care how lean they are or how ready they are. They're not having cheat meals. But we're going to have structured high days, or I'll just look to increase their general macros to almost a reverse diet approach once they're lean enough. But cheat meals, absolutely not. Refeeds, I like them for sure. So, question, Holly, my client Holly. So, opinion on implementing HIIT training during prep. Good question. That's a very good question. So, my opinion is, if you can recover from it and you like it, for sure. I'd always favour potentially like Liz or Ms, so to speak. So, medium steady state or low intensity steady state. Just because, when you're in prep, you're already quite fatigued. High intensity interval training can be very draining. It can almost make you feel a bit ill. I did that when I was prepping last year. I did it after my leg days. And it was fucking hard. I didn't really enjoy it at the time. I did it because I was like, had to get leaner, and I was already doing cardio every morning anyway. So I like doing it in the moment, but I think it's very fatiguing. It's very destructive on your body, especially when you're lean. When you're in off season, you're fine. You can crack on, do what you want. But when you're dieting during a prep and calories are potentially low, you're already quite lean. HIIT is just, the recovery demands it places on your body is so high, and when you simply do not have the calories to fuel, the recovery, so to speak, it doesn't really make too much sense. I mean, I understand why you'd use it. I'd only program it in for someone if we really are, firstly, they've had it in prior and it doesn't fuck their leg sessions, or it doesn't fuck their other training sessions, and it doesn't make them ill. Secondly, if we really need to dig for fat loss, but then again, I probably would just favour just reducing food because it's so destructive. And what I found, I've used it with myself, and would I use it with clients? It depends, but my thoughts are generally, I try not to use it. I try to just take away food because it's so fatiguing neurally that it can just leave you in a hole. And when you're trying to prep, I think there's other ways you can potentially just expend energy, i.e. more steps. I'd rather just you do more steps on the treadmill, or maybe do another Liz session. HIIT's just destructive. It's coming from experience as well. Like, I did it and I genuinely felt, kind of ill. When you feel ill and you're actually getting ill. So I felt after HIIT. So, would I have it in? It depends. It wouldn't be my preference, but I guess that I would never rule it out. For you, Holly, I don't really think that's going to be necessary, though. Obviously, as I'm prepping you, so I highly doubt you'll be doing HIIT. I'd rather you just do I'd rather we just drop macros, and I probably not with you, but I'm never going to say I'm not going to, so I don't know. But at the moment, there's no thoughts going through my head about, Holly's going to definitely go and HIIT 4 weeks out. I have no idea. But do I like it? Has its place? Yeah, it does have its place. Do I like doing it? No, not when I'm lean. And is it destructive? Yes. So would I probably look elsewhere? Yes, most likely. So another question from Holly. So is it possible to be too lean for male bodybuilding? That's a superb question, and I've never been asked that. I would say absolutely not, to be honest. I mean, I assume you mean natural bodybuilding. Now, when it comes to assisted, I don't know. I wouldn't ever say you can be too lean, though. I think you can always be a little bit leaner, provided you're not sucking down on muscle mass. But I do think, I don't think you can ever be too lean, especially for a natural competitor. I think you can always be leaner, and you should always get leaner, providing you're not, like I said, sucking down on your muscle mass and just losing all your tissue. But I think if you think you're in shape, then lose 5 pounds more and then assess. But I think that you can always get leaner for a male bodybuilder for sure. Again, this is generalized. If you're already shredded and you haven't got that much muscle mass, then Probably not, because you're just going to dig further and therefore probably lose tissue, not get leaner, because you haven't got the tissue underneath to get lean. Does that make sense? So it's dependent on the individual's muscle mass, but I would say you can always get leaner for sure. Could I have got leaner last year? For my amount of muscularity and where I was at tissue wise and where my cardio and food was, probably not. I could have lost muscle. I already did. I probably could have lost more muscle if I tried to get leaner, and probably ended up in the hospital as well for the 10-month diet, which was fucking savage. Anyway, so next question, Jamie Deasley. If I pronounced your name wrong, mate, I'm sorry. So you mini cutting? Question mark. Tell us more, man. Yep, I am mini cutting. So the reason behind that is I just been gaining for like 8 months. I feel a little bit out of shape. I would like to back off sort of now where I'm at now currently. Body fat is probably at a peak at which I wouldn't like to see it come any higher. In fact, I definitely wouldn't. I'm already pretty self-conscious actually with how I'm looking. So I already had a comment as well the other day. Like someone said to me, it wasn't malicious, but you know, you do remember the comments when you get them, and it was just like, you look so different, or I think he made the comment of like, you're unrecognizable from last year, and I was like, wow, unrecognizable as well. I was just like, fuck me, that's savage. That's so savage, and that stuck with me actually. I didn't like that comment. I didn't say anything. I just let it go over my head in the moment, but afterwards I was like, wow, that's fucking savage. That's pretty deep. So yeah, mini cutting, not because of that comment, but because I've been gaining for like 8 months. I feel like I've maxed out my body fat. I also feel like any more kind of like not muscle, any more weight that I would add, I think it would just be like mainly body fat. I don't really think I'll be adding any more muscle mass in this phase. Like I may do, but I do feel already pretty like maxed out with my body fat. Like in regards to like being comfortable with myself, and just like from like a like an optimality point of view as well. Like, am I going to be utilizing food as well as I could be? Probably not now. I do think that I'm holding a bit too much, especially around my waist and my lower back. It's kind of a bit like there's fat that's okay, and then when you're actually pinching it, and it's actually like you can actually kind of grab a decent amount of body fat. I don't think that's great. I really don't, especially as a natural guy. So I think that pulling back and then coming back up to that body weight in about 6 months will be far more advantageous than trying to just push now. Because I genuinely think if I just pushed up more, like, yeah, I'm getting stronger, but if I pushed up more, I think I would actually just get a bit fat and actually just be fat. Do you know what I mean? Like, right now, I don't think I'm fat, of course, but I think I'm holding a good amount of body fat. But if I gained another 15 pounds, like I was 186 pounds, like when Saturday, if I gained like another 15 pounds, I'd be about 200 pounds plus. And I'm not very funny, but at 5'7", at this moment in time, I just look atrocious. It really looks pretty awful, me being 186. Like my face is completely bloated, and my waist is absolutely out of whack. So that's why I'm always in the hoodies, pretty much. I don't really feel that comfortable with how I look. Now, I know this isn't abnormal. I know this is very normal. I was actually talking to AJ about this yesterday, and he was sharing the same kind of issues that he's had, and he's had the same sort of battles mentally, and he understood. But he was in agreement with me about pulling back as well. So, and I was already gonna pull back, because it's been a long time since I've lost any body fat, and I think it would really do me some good. I think it would do my physique some favors. It would make me feel a bit better, feel a bit more confident with how I look. It would also just pull me back a little bit, get me a bit closer to my stage weight. It will also allow me to see what improvements that have been made over the past 8 months, because I do believe I've made huge improvements actually in my physique. I actually really do. I think that everything has got bigger and stronger. Like, we're talking like, I think I've improved by about 20% from when I was prepping. I'm 100% convinced, because my training is just ridiculous, off the charts. My strength is unbelievable for me, like unbelievable. So I think I've improved a lot. I think I'm 20% better than I was last year when I was lean, 100%. So taking off 20 pounds and seeing what I look like will be really interesting. And that will probably put me about, call it the mid 160s. And if I've gained the amount of tissue that I think I have, that put me pretty decently lean as well. So it'd be interesting to see how I look. So information on that, hopefully, mate. Hopefully I've covered that. Calories, I've pretty much just cut them in half from like 4,000 to 2,000. What you may ask, like, why are you so aggressive? Because I just want to just lose fat quickly. Simple as that. You're not gonna have any negative effects really. Like, I don't think my performance will go down because I've got enough body fat on me to train. Do you know what I mean? That's not like I'm lean and dropping calories like that. I think that, you know, when you're fatter, you can just slash food and you can just get away with it. It's not like my like leverages are going to change within a week. I'm not just going to all of a sudden be lean again, and I'm not going to be able to stabilize on movement. Does that make sense? Like, I think you can just slash food and you can be pretty fine. I think the fatter you are, I think the more you can just get away doing that. And my appetite's not that great, really. Actually, I'm just eating at the moment. I'm having like 4 meals a day, and I'm just don't really care about food. I'm just eating just to get this phase done. Like, I want to get leaner quickly. I don't want to fuck around trying to find a pound a week bullshit. No, I don't. I would like to lose 3 to 4 pounds a week, ideally. I'm going aggressive because I want to move things quick. You know, I don't want to fuck around. So I've gone in pretty aggressive with the calories. My cardio is just going to be at like 2 to 3 sessions a week for first off, and I'm doing around 10 to 15k steps per day. So we're eating about 2,000 calories. I should drop weight pretty quick. If not, I don't know. I'll do something else. I'll drop calories or increase expenditure, but I'm pretty sure I will drop weight on that. So I hope that makes sense. Jamie, any questions on it, mate? Just send me over a DM on Instagram. I believe you follow me, so that's cool. So Jordan, people that inspire you every day and why they inspire you. This is a superb question, actually. So I'm really not inspired by that many people. Inspired for me, when I say I'm inspired by them, like, I look up to them big time. Like, I really look up to them, and I idolize them. And there's, like, I could probably say to you, there's about 3 people, actually. 3 people who I'm gonna call out on here and say that they inspire me and I idolize them. Like, that's it, really. Because I don't inspire to be anyone else, or look up to anyone else when it comes to the industry. I love other people and I follow them and I think they're knowledgeable, but these 3 are the 3 people who I think are just amazing, and they're my favourite individuals to follow. So number 1 would be James Hollingshead. I don't know how the guy portrays himself and he comes across on his Instagram, and his how humble he is and how nice he is, being at the kind of the athlete and the caliber he's at. I think the guy is just, quite frankly, out of this world. I think he's awesome. He's got a tremendous physique. He's like, obviously I don't know him personally, but seeing him speak on social media, and like, he seems to be such a nice guy, so kind and friendly. So here, James Hollingshead would be up there. The other 2 would be Jordan Peters and his partner Corin. Those 2, I think, at the moment, when it comes to like the bodybuilding industry, I would say like everyone's here and they're 50 fucking meters above everyone else. Those 2 are just, quite frankly, unbelievable. I think like, I don't know, I just fucking love watching them. I love following them. There's something about them that is just, I think, it's just absolutely out of this world, actually. Jordan, he's so knowledgeable. Trains so fucking hard. I love his mindset. I love his attitude towards bodybuilding. Corin as well, so fucking clever. The mindset towards bodybuilding is just untouched. Again, so fucking knowledgeable, and both of them as coaches is just out of this world, because you see what they do with their clients and themselves. Like, you know, those 2 are the best of the best, in my opinion, in the industry. No, I wouldn't put anyone else anywhere near them, actually. So yeah, James Hollingshead, Jordan Peters, and Corin, Jordan's partner, and I think I think all of those 3 are the best in the whole industry. Like, fuck Phil Heath, you know, fuck Kai Green. I don't find them at all motivating. I think Phil Heath's just up his own arse. But, you know, when you look at people like James, Jordan, and Corin, they're all so fucking humble. They're so nice about it as well. And even though they are where they are, like, they're still fucking great people, you know? Like Jordan, obviously, like Jordan and Corin, like they have, I don't know, like 8,000 members on their site, and they charge what, $6.99? Like, you do the math, you know? I mean, they are unbelievable. They've created that from nothing. They obviously, I know this isn't important, but they obviously earn, the amount of money they earn is just disgusting. But they're still amazing people as well. They're not up their own arse. That makes sense. So they're still so fucking humble, but they're so successful and so nice, and so like they'll give themselves to anyone and help anyone who seeks their help. So those three, I think, are just off the charts in my opinion, and I can't even say anything else more about them because whatever I say doesn't even come close to how good they are, I think. So those three, they're the only three that I look up to and idolise. Anyway, obviously I love everyone else who I follow, but I idolise and look up to those three. So Christina Fitness, doing a lot of steps. Don't know, does doing a lot of steps and being active affect leg growth? I do believe so, yeah. I think it can affect it for sure. I think it, like, not directly, but what it can do is it can affect your weight training sessions. So you'll find when you're prepping and you're having to do a lot of steps, your weight training sessions may get a bit worse. You know, technically, if you're constantly battering your legs on a Stairmaster or steps, you are going to deplete them down, and they are going to be downsized 100%. Like, when I was dieting, I was doing 30k steps a day, and I was doing cardio every day. My legs faded fast, actually. And I remember when it came to one of my last shows, I'd had the whole week off cardio and steps, and my legs came back to life. And I got like detail back. I got a little bit more, almost a bit more fullness around like the teardrop and the medialis area, places that just faded fast when I dieted. But I think indirectly they can massively affect your leg growth, yeah, i.e. making them look flatter, and then therefore affecting your weight training sessions because you're depleting them down slightly. But yeah, 100% think that it can affect it. Like, depends what phase you're in. If you're in a comp prep phase and you have to do steps, just suck it up and get on with it. If you're in an off-season phase and you're still trying to get steps in, maybe reevaluate that and ask yourself why am I doing that? You know, if the goal's max muscle and the goal's max leg development, I mean, really have us take a step back and question why you're doing an X amount of steps per day just to hit a step target. You know, focus on the goal, which is obviously gaining muscle. But if you're dieting and you're comp prep and you have to just dig in and get the steps done, so be it. You have to, you know, try and stay off your feet prior to leg sessions, stuff like that. But ultimately, it's kind of impossible. You just have to get it done. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Obviously, any questions on it, again, just fire me over a DM on Instagram. I believe you follow me, so it's cool. So, Jordan_training, out of interest, do you coach enhanced athletes? Fucking good question. And I actually have 2 enhanced clients. Yes, I do. One, Matt, and second one's Charlie. So, the reason and rationale behind this is because I just want to fucking learn everything. Pretty much. I want to learn everything, you know? 95% of my client bases are natural athletes. But for the 5%, I do have a couple of clients using stuff. Yeah, I do, yeah. And the reason behind that is I just want to learn. I just want to learn about it, you know? I want to put myself, jump in the deep end and learn about it. And I'm learning every day, you know? I have a couple of people who I speak to about anabolics who are fucking knowledgeable, and they're my go-to people to talk to them about and ask them opinions and thoughts and how things work. And you know, ultimately, if I can learn how to coach that as well, which I want to do because that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy coaching. So it doesn't really make a difference to me about anabolics. If someone's on anabolics, I don't really care. But yeah, I do coach a couple and I'm really enjoying it. And I'll be looking to take on more in the future. Like, I'm learning more about the drug side. And that's not anything I have any interest in doing right now, in this moment. But I would love to have clients who do use them and I can coach them. Yeah, absolutely. So I do coach them. Yeah, I'm learning about it every day. I'm also, and probably the biggest thing that I'm learning about it is you don't need crazy amounts of drugs to elicit the response that you want. You know, it's something that should just be used wisely. Again, this is a tool, pretty much. You know, it's like when you start a diet. You know, starting cardio too early or dropping calories too early. It's a tool. Use it when you need it, you know? Maybe when I'm 35, maybe I'll use anabolics because I've exhausted every other tool. But at the moment, obviously, that's not in my mind. I'm not really thinking about that. Just focusing on just doing what I can as a natural athlete at the moment. But to answer questions, yes, I do coach enhanced athletes. Not loads, but a couple. But 95% of my client base are natural. Hope that makes sense. So we have another question. So biggest daily struggle. This is a good question. I would say biggest daily struggle. It's nothing to do with like training or anything like that. Or I would say patience. Actually, the ability to be patient every day is fucking hard for me. Make sure this isn't too long. 30 minutes perfectly. So the ability to be patient and look at a goal over a long-term period is something that I struggle with. I want things now, always now, never want to wait, for it, never want to have to wait 6 months. I just want it now. When I go into the gym, I want to progress now, I want to do this now, I want to be lean now, I want to be comp prep now, all of this kind of jazz. And I think that's all really normal, to be honest, but I think my biggest daily struggle is holding myself, from not putting too much pressure on myself too soon when it comes to mind training and stuff like that. Other than that, I don't struggle with anything really. I love my job. I love my weight training. I love my food. I love my I don't know, my trophies over there. But no, I don't struggle with anything else. Just the ability, just the fact that I want to be better now, but I have to be patient. Maybe that's the struggle, but I wouldn't say I have really struggles daily. I think we all have self-doubt, but not self-doubt, but like you want to be better. But I would say that's just the mindset of someone who just wants to improve and always wants to strive to be an improved coach and bodybuilder. I think that's just normal. But I would say the ability to stay patient and look at those long-term goals as something that's going to be achievable over a period of time. Not that I'm going to be able to have them now. Make sense? Obviously, if I haven't covered that correctly, just DM me, but I'm pretty sure I have. So last question, because this has been just under 30, so I'd like to keep it at 30. So what are your thoughts on doing long-term bulks? Good question. So my thoughts on doing long-term bulks would be, my thoughts on them generally would be cool. That's a good. I don't see that being a bad thing. The only thing I would say when it comes to a long-term bulk is just don't get too fat. That's pretty much the only thing I'd say. There's nothing else to really go over about a long-term bulk. It would just be try and like maximize it, so try not to get too fat too quick, because if you do that, you're gonna have to diet. Try to do at least 6 months plus of gaining before you even think about going into a deficit, because I think you need at least 6 months to see any sort of improvements. You're not going to get improvements after a month. So my thoughts would be, if you're a younger individual, long-term bulk would be the one to definitely focus on. And if you're like 18, 19, 20, 21, don't even think about dieting. Just think about getting, really strong, potentially if you're a younger individual, a little bit too far gone as well. But the older you get, I think would be to slow the rate of gain down and just focus on progressing in the gym. And when you get older, focus on not getting too fat as well, because obviously your ability to accrue muscle mass as you get older and as you advance as a trainee will become reduced anyway. So there's no point getting fat. So it would be just to try and keep the process nice, slow and steady, and just be consistent. But my thoughts generally are for, gain as long as you can and pull back when you want to or need to. Okay, I think that's everything. I'm not going to blab on anymore. Just make sure I haven't had any more come in the last sort of, could have done. So let me just double check. 2 seconds, guys. Sorry, I'm just checking the old news feed on IG. No, we have not had any more come in. No. So DMs, no. Perfect, awesome. Hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. Obviously, any questions on it, please ask. Keep them coming. My last one got a good response. Actually, it got I think 25 likes and over 100 views. That's cool. I'm happy with that. It's like 20 people. If 20 people liked this, that's perfect. That's bang on. I'm happy to do them. Absolutely. Even if one person liked this, I'm fucking happy to do it. If I can share a little bit of knowledge for you guys, and you guys enjoy, watching and listening to me for 30 minutes, I'm going to keep these up for 2 times per week. Oh dear, not that way. 2 times per week, okay? Any other questions on any other topics, feel free to just drop me a DM on Instagram whenever you like, and I'll reply in voice note most likely. And that's pretty much everything. Anything else to mention? No, not really. No, not really. Okay, cool. Lots of love, guys. Any questions, let me know, and we'll speak in the next one.